You know what? We're gonna go to YouTube. We're gonna look at someone play Narbacular. Literally would have just been quicker to open up a video. Actually would have been quicker to open a fucking video and watch someone play it instead of just fucking trying to get the game to work.
Hey everybody.
Hi.
Welcome to my Let's Play of a quick little game for the PC called...
This is 13 years ago.
...called Narbacular Drop.
Okay.
The story with this game is that it was developed as a student project over at DigiPen Institute of Technology
2013
back in 2005. And it went on to...
I don't actually care about your intro.
It's play them, Paul. Trolls, shoot portals...
Okay, here we go.
Okay, so they start us out in this caged area. So in order to get out, shoot a portal on the wall and another one in here, and you can just walk out.
I see. God, I'm so happy they I am very, very happy that Portal is sci-fi and not whatever this is. 'Cause holy shit, I would get lost so quickly if if this is what the art style of Portal was.
Okay, to open that door up, both switches need to be pressed at the same time, so drop the box onto one of them and just stand on the other one. And then we could just put a portal up there and walk out.
Generic fantasy dungeon.
Okay, so this game is kind of buggy, and right there the y-axis got inverted for some reason.
I'm heading to sleep. Now, Brodie, catch you later.
Lava turtles are very friendly creatures.
Turtles.
You can ride on its back, and it will go in the direction that you look.
Me too, it's 5 AM for me.
Okay, and I probably fast-forwarded that, because that takes forever and a half.
Jesus Christ, this really is 2012, 2013 commentary, isn't it?
Run, Boulder, run. Okay, so this level can be kind of glitchy. I should be able to beat it now. Sometimes the boulders don't spawn, and then there's a lava turtle back here.
Oh, not the lava turtles.
It doesn't spawn either.
Watch this after somebody re-implemented this in actual Portal. I definitely want to see that.
Okay, we got that in there. Yeah, there's a lava turtle here normally. As you can see by the helpful text that's telling me to help this lava turtle. But there isn't one. But I think I can still get by. Whoops.
I am so happy that Valve were like, this is a really cool concept, but holy shit, let's not have this be the theme of the game. Let's, like, the Portal idea is really cool, but, like, can we not do generic fantasy?
Okay. I'm pressing the button, and nothing is happening. This one must need to be, like, realigned or something, or... Whoops, what the hell? Is it on the button now? There we go, now it's opening up.
Oh, yeah,
and then normally
when
the lava turtle is here, you put a portal there, and then just one up there, and it drops into the lava.
Uh-huh.
But, you know what we can actually do? Is we can do this. And we could get across without even using the lava turtle.
Somebody re-implemented Portal. Oh my god. Okay, I definitely have to see both of those.
Very vertical. Now, this level is actually a lot like another level in Portal. I don't know what it's called. Test Chamber 15? I don't know. But you gotta, keep going from pillar to pillar, and each one's a little bit higher than the last.
Yeah.
Whoops.
Portal
I don't know
doesn't
if that
have lava
affects the
turtles.
video. I don't
True.
think so. Maybe it does. If nothing happened there, just ignore what I'm saying.
Oh, it's a lava turtle!
Okay, drop the turtle into the lava down there, and then fall down this column here. And now ride the turtle all the way across.
I think the reason why they have lava turtles is they wanted to implement some sort of pathing algorithm for when they are just like chilling, and they're just like, this is peak student project stuff. It's just like, I learned something cool, I'm gonna implement it, even though it does not serve any value in the game.
I'm probably gonna fast forward that. Okay. Oh,
Ooh,
this level.
Alpha 7. Let's go.
So a difference between this game and Portal is that in this game, you can shoot portals through portals, which you can't do that in Portal. And I just said Portal like 5 times in one sentence.
2013 dialogue.
Shooting portals on your way up. Let me put one over here. Am I at the top or something?
I do wonder why they didn't implement that in Portal. Maybe they didn't want to deal with the logistical issues of being able to shoot portals through portals. And like, if you can shoot portals through portals, you have to design levels with that in mind. And that means you have a lot more ways that you can soft lock. You have a lot more ways that you can break puzzles. And it's probably just like, I would imagine they just didn't want to deal with it.
Wait a minute.
I'm not surprised there's a speedrunning bug
I'm
where you can
getting
do
confused
it.
here. This game, the gravity in this game is really weird. There we go. Oh, I didn't make it still. Maybe if I just put it higher, I can make it. I could fall all the way down.
I thought the movement was confusing in Portal. It's so much worse when everything is brown.
This level, I don't know. This level sucks. Wait, maybe I just need to accelerate.
Wow.
There we go.
What a crazy idea.
And we beat the game. Yes, that is the entire game. And I said in the beginning that it was really short. And that's kind of the reason I recorded it, actually. What the fuck is that? Do you see that green shit? What the hell?
Oh, you can go in third person for some reason.
This game, it's a good game. You know, for a game that was developed by a bunch of college students over a few weeks, you know, it's okay. I mean, if they just, you know, polish this game up.
Yeah, if they just polish this game up, you know, getting hired by... Look at that gamer stance. This get hired by Valve, you know. There was meant to be a final boss here, but they didn't implement it. Ah, that's cool. Now, let me... Oh, yeah, let me see this GLaDOS thing, and then we'll have a look at the re-implementations.
What is a Jaeger?
Oh. Huh.
A Jaeger is the pinnacle of human invention.
An Aaron Jaeger?
When the monsters came, we did not wait for heroes to fall from the sky and save us.
That's cool.
We saved ourselves. Innovation is our superpower. What is a Jaeger? It's you, times 1,000, tall as a mountain, with a beating heart that burns as bright
Sincerely,
as
the
the
second movie is
sun.
not. That's DMCA. No, we're not playing the rest of that. Now, someone re-implemented that in actual Portal. Let's see what this is. Oh my god, okay. I remade the original Portal 20 years later. Okay, let's see what this is.
Hey everyone,
Hi.
the name's Aussie Flower. Narbacular drop is a
Your name's
name.
what?
Hey everyone, the name's Aussie Flower.
Aussie. Okay, no, I wasn't imagining it. I have no idea. Okay, that's sure. Okay, anyway.
Narbacular drop is a name you've no doubt heard about if you lingered around the Portal community. Or, you know, you just looked at Portal videos in recent times. Hi, Portal Runner. After all, it's the reason why the Portal games even exist in the first place. Developed by a student group at DigiPen who dubbed themselves Nuclear Monkey Software, Narbacular drop was developed in roughly a year from start to end, and featured the use of a mechanic where you could place portals to solve primarily navigation-based puzzles. The official story goes that Valve had attended the showcase at which Narbacular drop was part of, and Gabe Newell was so impressed that he offered the entire team to work at Valve to finish the game there.
That is really cool, though, right? Like that is so cool. You're just making a fun little student project. You're like, oh yeah, this will get us our this will like, I don't know if they were doing it for their degrees or like what it was, but like out of nowhere, because what year was Portal? What year was Portal? Portal 1. 2007. When did... Hold up. When did Steam come along? 2003. So Steam had already been around... Yeah, Steam had already been around for a couple of years at that point. So I don't know how many years it took for Portal to be developed. So let's say it's a reasonable expectation to say probably 2005 it says here's the story. So it probably happened a bit before that. So, actually, okay, sorry, I misread this. So yeah, they would have seen it somewhere like early 2005.
Once Nuclear Monkey Software was at Valve, they rebooted the game into a more grounded science fiction setting that will land it in the Half-Life universe.
I don't know if I would say grounded's the word that you would use for it, but sure, we can go with that one.
And after 2 years of development there, we got Portal. Personally, I consider Narbacular Drop and Portal to be one and the same development cycle, but the story of how Narbacular Drop's development led to
Narbacular Drop is basically a tech demo for Portal.
Will be covered in a future, much larger video project with many surprises to behold. So, given how important Narbacular Drop is, I wanted to celebrate its 20th anniversary this year. Just one problem to tackle first, however. If you search for the Narbacular Drop release date on Google, it says April 24th, 2005.
Right.
But if you go to the Wikipedia article on Narbacular Drop, it says May 1st, 2005. But if you go to the original archived Narbacular Drop website, the first release of the game was on April 19th, 2005. After various public beta builds that had been released over time, which began on December 10th, 2004. So Narbacular Drop has 4 release dates depending on what definition of the release date you want to go with. I have no clue where April 24th comes from. It's listed as such on the Valve developer community article from the game, and none of my research says anything happening on that day, so we can cross that one out. May 1st is when DigiPen published the game on the website.
Right,
but
that makes
April
sense.
19th is when the original completed release occurred. Therefore, I'm choosing to say that April 19th, 2005 is the actual release date for Narbacular Drop. As of this video going live...
How does this happen? Surely the idea of a release date isn't that complicated.
It is now April 19th, 2025, meaning it's the 20th anniversary of Narbacular Drop. To commemorate the anniversary, I wanted to sit down and remake the entire game within Portal 1. This task of bringing the
Oh, wait, this literally just came out. Oh, okay. Wait, it didn't even click with me that that's like a week ago.
Narbacular drop to the source engine has been attempted by many people in the past, but I wasn't content with doing a straight port. After all, my friend Wolfclock had already ported the Narbacular drop to Portal 1 for a demo of his project named Quanta. It even includes the mechanic of shooting portals through portals. Instead, I wanted to do something a bit more interesting. I don't bring this up much on this channel, but I've been doing environment and level design for both Portal games as a modder for years. Suffice to say, I know what makes good Portal levels tick and how to make them myself because I've studied them my entire
Classic
life.
Brodie timing moment.
My idea is to take Narbacular drops levels and to translate them into Portal style levels, translating every mechanic to its closest Portal equivalent, redesigning
Does that
the
mean also lava turtles?
layouts to fit Portal's design philosophies and appropriately detailing them to the Valve quality standard. So first, before anything,
I'm older than Steam, which makes me feel really old. I'm 1998, so you know, couple of years. No lava turtles, unfortunately. Damn.
Much how we're gonna adapt Narbacular drops mechanics. Cubes, buttons, and doors are unchanged.
Sure.
Narbacular drop only features one cube puzzle at the very start, but these mechanics are all easily translatable. The only major difference is that doors in Narbacular drop permanently stay open when you've fulfilled the exit condition. So we have to take this into account when redesigning levels, as Portal's doors can close again. Impy here is a curious case, as there's no direct parallel to him in Portal. For the sake of featuring all of Portal's mechanics, however, I've chosen to translate Impy into a turret for his 2 total appearances in Narbacular drop. The lava turtle was another fascinating case. Portal doesn't exactly have anything you can
We
control
need the
movement
lava
on,
turtle!
but it does have unstationary scaffolds, which can allow you to traverse toxic goo, much like how the turtle lets you traverse,
No, we need lava turtles.
And finally, the boulders may also seem without a parallel, but think about it, they're just energy pellets. Chamber 17
That's
in Portal
fair.
1 even features something similar to the intro boulder level, where you have to get through a cramped hallway with pellets going back and forth, and then you redirect the pellets into the receptacles.
Yeah, actually, that is a fair point. They are basically pellets, yeah.
Without further ado, let's start
Especially if you consider the way they move.
where you have to get through
Like-
a cramped... Chamber 17 in Portal 1 even features something similar to the intro boulder level,
It just bounces back and forth off the wall.
where you have to get through a cramped hallway with pellets going back and forth, and then you redirect the pellets into the receptacles. So, without further ado, let's start remaking these levels. The first level, named Polishing Up, is the simplest. You start in a cage, have the portal out, and then you use yourself and a cube to weigh down 2 buttons.
There's so many improvements that were made from Portal. Like, having the buttons indicate what they connect to. Just that by itself. Having... Also, like, flipping the color scheme, where you make the background really bright, except for Cave Johnson stuff, which mostly bright, but you make the background bright, and the buttons are the things that are colored, so the buttons stand out really well.
And open the exit. Also, Impy is running around. Already, I decided to make a stark contrast to the original level. You actually start away from the cage, inside a relaxation vault that sits where this weird metal cylinder was in the original level. I didn't want the player to start with a portal gun right off the bat.
Right.
And trying to fit a portal gun pedestal and the realization vault in the same space makes it really cramped. So we got 2 vaults, with the portal gun vault being where the cage originally was. I also changed the radio so it would play a compressed radio version of one of the Narbacular drop tracks. I actually decided to go on and hide one on every map from here on, so when you play it, see if you can find them. The rest of the level was, however, translated pretty much 1-to-1. You got the buttons, you got the cube, shoot through the door when it's open, bam, first level of the game adapted. Now for the Portalification of Polishing Up, I decided to do some layout tweaks. First, I framed the door more clearly in the center of the room, and extruded out the test chamber space so it wasn't a plain simple box. This also allowed me to give the cube its own little space to spawn in. Then came time to add the observation room. You would not realize this as a casual player, but these rooms aren't just for decoration or to flood lighting throughout the entire chamber. They actually have a secret purpose in guiding player direction, meaning as a designer, you really have to think about where you place them. Consistent throughout every single observation room in Portal, there is a spotlight that is manually aimed by the level designer to highlight the key areas of the puzzle. This means
Ooh.
that Portal's levels are not uniformly lit, and it adds a subtle design language. If you're in a dark spot, it's not important. This is the trend I did for every single following level, so keep that in mind.
That's
Next up is
cool.
Hallway to Hell. Hallway to Hell is split into two chunks. An area where you get to a higher platform and drop to the exit, and an area involving the introduction of the lava turtle. Since these two parts of the level feel distinct from each other and are connected via a drop down, I made the executive decision to slice it in half, which means I connected the two portions of it via an elevator in my remake. The first part of Hallway to Hell reminded me a bit of Chamber 10, the momentum introduction in Portal, so I visually based it on that level. I don't have much more to say about this part. The real big changes come with the lava turtle segment. So in the original, you hop onto the turtle and you direct it across the lava while avoiding these three chain links that force you to change direction. Because we replaced the turtle with a scaffold, which move automatically, we need an equivalent to these chain links. Then, I realized a perfect analog. In Chamber 19, just before the fire pit, you're faced with this situation where you need to portal past a barrier that will otherwise knock you off the platform. This was the perfect equivalent and setup. So I replaced the chain links with 3 different obstacles to evade using your portals. The first was a replication of the Chamber 19 barrier, followed up by some grading you have to portal past. Finally, a small hole you have to shoot through. In terms of all the redesigned puzzles, Hallway to Hell was perhaps the most far removed from its original. But that's exactly the kind of thing I was hoping for with a project like this one. I wanted to see just how far removed these levels could end up from the originals. I could hypothetically have been more faithful and have this be 3 identical gradings you just move around the platform to avoid, but that's not as fun when you're
1.1 volts. How you doing? Welcome. We've finished the game now.
automatically moving through it. Besides,
we've been taking a look at Narbacular drop stuff.
Portal levels was part of the design philosophy of this remake. Now, we can finally move on to the next level. Boulder Run, or Boulder Dash as it's called internally, is the 3rd level in the Narbacular drop, and it introduces the titular boulders of level naming fame. The idea behind this level is that you progress through 2 tight corridors with insta-kill boulders going back and forth within them. And then you redirect the boulders with portals into button receptacles that open the exit.
Lava turtle!
Reaching the exit requires portaling a turtle into the lava and crossing the pit with it.
Or cheesing.
You can just do a risky fling maneuver over the lava. This level, I think, translated the best out of all the Narbacular drop levels, since the buttons being recessed into the floor literally make them pellet catchers. However, I didn't connect these catchers to open the door. Instead, they now activate the scaffold that replaces the turtle. The reason why I did this is due to another Portal level design philosophy. Connection rules. Connection rules are a concept that only exists in Portal 1 level design, and it wasn't carried forward into any future Portal thing, not even the Still Alive levels. And in my opinion, they are the secret sauce that make a Portal 1 level feel like a Portal 1 level. Let's analyze.
Is this that one dragon guy? Dragon D's nuts? Are you trying to do a D's nuts joke?
Chamber 06 from the first game to get a visual of what I'm talking about. Here, the player is being introduced to the high energy pellets, so everything that embodies what the pellets do mechanically should be shown to the player here. Pay close attention.
Unbelievable. You.
Shadow scale.
Did you catch a peculiar detail?
This is a guy called Ossiaflawul.
Rather than a receptacle for the energy pellet being linked to a door that
Yes, they are the
opens,
dragon person.
it instead links to a lift
I don't know what you're
platform that raises
talking about.
you to the exit. This is a conscious decision made by Portal's development team that mechanics that send inputs via the indicator lines have very specific things they link to. What I'm making the point of here is they could have had the pellet catcher open a door, but they actively chose not to.
His profile. Oh, his profile picture. Yes.
Instead, they make the connection in the player's subconscious that pellets activate platforms. This continues into the other test elements too. Floor buttons will only ever open test chamber doors. Pedestal buttons will only ever open the vertical doors. And turrets don't power anything, but they can weigh down floor buttons sometimes. The only exception is when pedestal buttons are used to open the incinerator and activate a rocket turret. But that's it. Everything else is incredibly consistent. Anyways, that's why these pellet catchers activate a scaffold rather than open the door. This will come up again shortly. Very vertical is the penultimate Narbacular drop level, and if you played it, you'll know how it feels eerily similar to Chamber 18 in structure. The way you slowly climb up the platforms that get higher and higher using portals. So I took this as a sign to visually base the remake on Chamber 18. I added some of these number dot signage icons on the
sometimes meaning just the map that introduces them for some reason. Wait. Oh, okay, right. Oh, yeah.
ceiling to indicate the order of the platforms. But I don't think there are
I never took notice of what those mean. Oh my fucking god.
as useful as I expect them to be, because this is a linear path, effectively. The only major change, once again, is to do with the turtle. Originally, you drop it into the lava below, go down a shaft, and hop on its back to ride it through some tight chain links.
Get on its
This
shaft.
gameplay, I could not replicate in the Portal formula. Something I liked about this section and very vertical was the fact that you rode underneath the level when doing this. So I did the same for the scaffold here. Just one problem. The chain links. If I wanted to be accurate, I would have grading blocking the player that would have to somehow avoid. You might think, Aussie, why don't you just add portable walls like you did for Hallway to Hell? And great question. It's because of level design, I can't.
Okay.
Remember, this scaffold goes underneath the entire level, and you have to factor in things like line of sight that the player would have. If surfaces existed below, the player could end up skipping a large majority of the puzzle.
Right.
Plus, it would look kind of ugly to have.
This is a triumph. I'm making a note here because she just says it's hard to overstate my satisfaction. Episode signs, we must, because we can, for the good of all except the ones who are dead.
Random blocks sticking out of the goo here. And that would
Brodie,
mean
why
people
do you
could
have an
jump down-
IMDb page? I am aware I have an IMDb page. I don't know. I've had it for like 4 years. Yeah. Just for anyone who's unaware, here you go. Yes, I am aware of my IMDb page. And do you know what I don't have that I'm really annoyed by? I don't have a wiki feed. Make me a fucking wiki feed. I'm not gonna make my own wiki feed. That's weird. Someone make me a fucking wiki feed. I've posted so many pictures on my feed and no one's ever done it.
Down and survive.
Anyway.
Ultimately, I just went having grading at the start and end of the scaffold parts. Speaking of the scaffold, I've also added a quick pellet redirection sequence here, just so that it fulfills the same gameplay purpose as dropping the turtle down into the lava so you can ride it. Alongside the connection rules. It does kind of mean this level now has a boulder it didn't originally have. The final level of Narbacular drop is Ledge Ladder. Notable for being an insanely tall expanse you have to climb up, all the while boulders are raining down. This was by far the most interesting to translate. I had already established that pellets would replace boulders, and I wasn't going to back down now right at the end. The problem is that
This is such a stupid level. Like, it's an interesting concept for a level that you can completely cheese just because you can portal through portals.
Notable for being an insanely tall expanse you have to climb up, all the while boulders are raining down. This was by far the most interesting to translate.
This right here, this is the reason why you can't portal through portals.
Established that pellets would replace boulders, and I wasn't going to back down now right at the end. The problem is that pellets are not affected by gravity. They have no way of descending down the ladder structure of the level. Thus, I needed to get creative. I decided to reach into the depths and look into Portal's beta content, in case there was anything I could equate this to. And then, I remembered this. This is a telescopic arm. It's only ever seen in a 2006 version of the art test room level, and in the final game is broken without code modification to restore its functionality.
That's cool.
However, this is exactly what I needed for Ledge Ladder, as it makes the energy pellets into a threat much like the boulders were. I was able to replicate the functionality of the telescopic arm entity by using a Funk Tank entity instead, which gave me control over its range. After some testing, I put several telescopic arms into the level. All of them are in the same spots where the boulders were respawning from. This was perfect.
Now there's no sense trying to her mistake. You just keep on trying. Now you are you posting lyrics?
Perfect. It allowed me to replicate the same game feel as Ledge Ladder, as it forces the player to slow down and look at their options before blindly charging upwards with
Sadly,
portal
you don't
shots.
have
You can still do this level
portaling
really
through
quickly,
portaling.
but you come at the risk of running into one of the dozen stray energy pellets flying around at all times because you didn't take your time. And with that, That's Narbacular Drop's levels completed. There is also a fire with fire at the end, which was meant to be for a boss fight in the original Narbacular Drop, but was unable to be finished in
Well, that
time
would be pretty
for
easy
the
to
project
replicate.
deadline. Since I was cutting it fairly close to the deadline myself, even with some help from my friend Kelsey, history ended up repeating itself, and there's no boss fight here either. So, here it is. You can now download and play Aperture Narbacular right now.
That's cool.
It'll be down in the description, and you're meant to install it as a map pack for Portal 1. There's an installation guide in the download.
Airboat.
It is really easy to install.
I assume... Wait, couldn't the airboat be the lava turtle?
Aperture Narbacular right now, but was unable to be finished. See, history ended up repeating itself, and there's no boss fight here either. So, here it is. You can now download and play Aperture Narbacular right now.
What is this one? What do you sent me?